afternoon, Nordic.js! Woo! Thanks for the energy. I hope you get a good lunch. Are my slides there? Great, works. Ooh, spoiler. I have been living in Sweden for 8 years. My dream was to be in this stage. I'm so happy that I managed. So, as Tilde said, my name is Geisy. You can call me Geisy. I identify as a woman, engineering manager at a company called Rebtel. We are hiring. I have been a front-end developer for 13 plus years now. And I am a hobby tourist, which means I have too many hobbies and can't just commit. I have a commitment issue with hobbies, but it's okay. And I'm a mom of 2 lizards. They're up in sunshine. Down here is sangria. So yeah, they are my perfect summer day. But if you're like me, a millennial, you probably used the web in the 90s. And you got something like that. So this is one of the biggest Brazilian websites in '96. Thanks Web Archive for this nostalgic moment. I don't know how people used this. I don't remember how I used it. I was 3, so I probably didn't use back then, but still, I'm a millennial, I promise. But I'm here to talk about accessibility. So first things first, what is accessibility, right? By definition, it's the quality of being easily reached, entered, or used by people who have a disability. Disclaimer, the word disability is not a bad word. It's actually in the official documents. So if anyone wants to give me anything about that, go read the law or something. But accessibility also can be referred as A11Y, which is pretty much the shorthand of the whole word. All the characters in between the A and the Y, counting 11, that's why. Please don't say Ali. That's a name. It's not accessibility. It's A11Y or A11Y. Disclaimer as well. So, in our area, we are going to talk a lot about web accessibility. This topic has been coming up more and more over time. But what does it mean? Because it's still referred as web accessibility, but is it just web? It's just the browser, just the website? Not really. It's websites, every tools, or technologies around it, and the expectations that anyone with disability can use them. And when I mean use, here, I'm talking about perceiving it, so they are able to reach that via any tool, technology, smartphone, smartwatches, or computer, or whatever we invent in the future. They should be able to understand, taking the content that is present in that specific digital tool or digital application they are using. They should be able to navigate, so come in, understand what's happening, do an action, and get the expected result. They should be able to interact, which is not the same thing as navigate, because when we talk interaction here, it would mean, for example, having the chance to perform a login or a sign up, and contribute. So this is more clearly in social media, so you should be able to post a picture, you should be able to do a post or something like that. So these pretty much are the pillars or what you would expect someone with a disability to do. But and then, when I say people with disability, who needs accessibility, actually? I think everyone is tired to listen like, oh, the blind people, oh, the colorblind people. And then it's not only that. We also have the people with auditory disability, we have speech, we have cognitive, we have physical, and we have neurological. And all of those types of disabilities are included and must be served within accessibility as a topic. And then you, me, all of us, because everyone benefits of having it. With that said, for example, if you have hardware limitations, have you tried to put your password using your TV controller at some point? Yeah, right? If you have any temporary disability, who here ever broke an arm? Not many people. Oh, you have no fun in life. I'm joking, I never broke an arm either. Or you have an eye infection. Situational limitations also. For example, you're so happy to use your dark mode, and then the sun comes in, and you're like, yeah, what do I do here? Nothing. You have connectivity. We are very much lucky that we live in first world country with good access to internet. We pay like very little for access to it, but in other places of the world, especially if you work in a global company, you need to think about that. And the best of all, is anyone here getting any younger? And this is us tomorrow, basically. We're fine today, right? So we need to start at some point. So here in Europe now, it has been released the European Accessibility Act. It has been valid, and it's valid since the 28th of June, past June. And after that date, it's pretty much the expectation that every application needs to comply. And here, when I say applications, it's B2C. B2B are out of scope at this moment. Government had their deadline in 2022. So it is for everyone, people with disabilities, the situational, and the elderly as well. And when I say comply here, it means not that you need to redo everything you have, but you have some grace period for that, of course. But you need to pretty much go ahead, and everything that is new and upcoming needs to be up to date and compliant. So how do you make sure that you comply? You follow the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. And if you think this is a mouthful, there is more. So WCAG has different versions. Each version has a set of guidelines, and those guidelines are divided by 4 principles. Those principles pretty much takes everything that I said that people need to be able to do, to use an accessible application. And the guidelines have testable success criteria, and those are distributed in 3 levels, A, AA, AAA. So what do you need to choose? The mentions in the official documentation is to use a WCAG version 2.1 with success criteria level AA. That's what we want to do. It's a mid-term of everything there. I hope it's not too much information, but if it is, I apologize. And then you're like, where do I start? Well, that's why I'm here. First of all, if you're a web engineer, you need to start with HTML semantics, right? By the way, if you want, get your phones up because it's going to be a QR code shower moving on now. So, HTML semantics. Understand the meaning of an HTML tag before using it. Understand and respect the content category limits. You know, you should not have a link inside the label of a checkbox. Come on, put the link under the checkbox and link to your privacy. I don't care. Make it accessible. If you try to click, it's not going to work. And then review and implement the semantics, the current semantics, and that's something that you can do without changing any design or even asking for your engineer manager to approve. So next, you can take a free accessibility course that is provided from W3C. It's a self-paced, between 16 to 20 hours. I took and paid for the certificate, which is optional. But you can do a free course. It's there, and it's amazing. It's a deep dive of this talk, actually. And then, to be able to check how good your work is, if you try to use the WCAG Quick Reference Guide, have you ever tried to read the Bible? Yeah, that's what it is. So, there is this amazing website called the A11Y project, and they have a very good and digestible checklist. And there you can start validating where you are by yourself, or every time you build a new feature moving on. Then you have a checklist for that. It's awesome. And then in the same website, you have a part of it where it has like software, books, blogs, online tools that you can use to enhance your development, and those resources you can just take in at will. And they often have like up-to-date posts of what's going on, what has changed, how does that impact everyone, and things like that. So this is my go-to website before going to the Bible. It's kind of those mini Bibles. Yeah, people have those pocket Bibles, right? I think, I don't know. I'm not Catholic anymore, kind of. Sorry, someone laughed. What? Then we have a great tool. So once you're ready to send things to your QA, you want to make sure that everything you developed in context with the whole page is working. And this is the best tool that I can recommend, the ARC. It's an extension, works for Firefox and for Chrome. And you can choose pretty much like which levels do I want to test against. And they even have certain specific checks for identifying all the landmarks, the tab order. It's a very complete tool. You can select a specific place on your page. And you might ask, what about Lighthouse? Well, Lighthouse reloads your page every time. This tool doesn't. So you can do that mid-interaction validation as well within a flow, which is good. And then, yeah, speaking of mouthfuls, there we go. Why area design patterns? Does anyone know what that even means? Yeah, I know, right? Oh, one person there in the back. I can barely see you, but I saw a white hand coming up, and I was like, yeah, great. So, Web Accessibility Initiative, why? It's a little part of W3C that actually focus on reading and designing all of those guidelines. And then AREA means or stands for Accessible Rich Internet Application. And then there is another word that was just like, this is too much, which is, I think you all heard of AREA, because it's something that we can use as attributes to our code in HTML, but they also have this pattern suggestion. So in case you need to do a button and you want to make sure, like, how do I develop the button, and what do I need to think about when doing the button to be compliant, to make sure that it's tested, the events that are triggering are correct for screen readers or any other type of input method, so like the wand or something like that, then you can read this. It's digestible, has code examples. It's not production-ready code, so don't copy and paste. Okay? But it still has code examples for you to understand how to implement it. And then the last but not least, one of my favorites just for a starter, it's the AXE-Core NPM package. Have everyone ever thought about like unit testing accessibility? Have you succeeded in it? Yeah, I know. So the thing with this package, they have actually extensions for most of the different tools, so just Cypress, Playwright, whatever you use. They have extensions that build on top of this package. This is the official one. And they cover, in average, 57% of the guidelines, which is great. My personal experience is that it covers great if you have a component library. You have those small components, and by themselves, you just want to make sure that they are hitting all the 60% of checks, so you get that out of the box. But once you go in context, in page or interaction or in flow, then the other tools are going to be better. You can use it for the whole page, but you are not going to get context-related guidelines, success criteria to be fixed with this. So you need to also choose where to implement the different levels or validations around. In the spirit of the whole thing, I want to make a challenge. I want you to get the application that you work with today. I want you to blindfold yourself, activate whatever screen reader you have, narrator, voiceover, talkback, and try to complete the success flow of your application. Time yourself. It should not take more than 5 minutes. I tried this. In this picture, I tried 3 times. I was trying to prove a point to my company. In 20 minutes, I don't think I got more than like choosing how many phones I wanted to buy. So, oh, they allowed me to implement accessibility. In 4 years, by 2025, we were ready. So that was cool. And then now I'm in another company, starting over again. So thank you for your time. This is the QR code for the slides. And develop your applications for everyone, including yourself. Thank you.